Hello, my name is Lynda Brown, and welcome to Meet the Candidates. It's my pleasure to bring this one-to-one question and answer forum to you. You know, in speaking with people around town, it's come to my attention that sometimes folks don't really know who might be running for a particular office, or even at times who's representing them presently. So this is one way for residents to get to know who's running for what office and to get to know a little bit more about the candidate and the issues that are important to them. I'll be asking local candidates questions that are pertinent to the office that they're seeking. They'll be about different issues facing the city and getting their responses and what they would do to either change or build on these issues. Now, notices inviting candidates to join in on this forum were sent out to all who are running. The ones that you'll be seeing in the interviews are candidates that responded. However, before I start, I'd like to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to HC Media for opening their studio to me along with the help of their wonderful staff and equipment. So much goes into being able to do something like this, and I appreciate it so much. They are one of Haverhill's gems. So, we're going to get started with our first candidate. Here with Councilor Joe Bevilacqua. How are you, Joe?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I think
Joe.
It's great to be able to talk to the citizens of the city of Haverhill.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's important to get our names out there and let them know what you're doing and what you're all about. Right, Joe? So let's tell a little bit about, we'll keep this one short. Just tell us a little bit about you that we might not know, just to surprise us.
Well, I think everyone pretty much knows who I am.
They do.
But I'll tell you some things that some people may not know. Okay. First, actively involved in charitable activities. I have all my whole life. I've been involved, with the Red Cross, the Heart Fund. I'm the immediate past chairman of the United Way's Merrimack Valley Advisory Board, so I've been involved with United Way activities, helping a number of nonprofits throughout the years. I still serve on the board of directors. Actively involved with some educational programs and leadership programs that people may not know. I've been I was a college trustee for 10 years at Northern Essex Community College.
Wow.
As well as my school committee term. But I also held a number of leadership positions that people don't know about. So I've had a great deal of experience, probably more than any other candidate. I was the state chairman under 3 governors, appointed by 3 governors for the Massachusetts Workforce Investment Board, which is the board that was charged with developing programs to help people become better skilled, understanding their incumbent worker skills, educational requirements, talking to businesses about what are their job requirements for the future. Then I became the national chairman of all the boards. So every governor appointed a board, and I was chairman of the national organization, and we traveled around the country. Our meetings would begin in Washington, and then we went to see major companies. We went to Boeing, for example, in Seattle, Washington. We went to the Ford Motor Company in Louisville, Kentucky. And then we went to small and mid-sized companies. And we wanted to know, what will the jobs of the future require? What will the education requirements require? And I learned so much. I've also been the chairman of the Massachusetts Economic Development Council, the statewide economic development group. I've been the chairman of the North of Boston Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is the tourism and hospitality group for 43 cities and towns, including Haverhill. So I've been involved in leadership positions. But, I also have some great personal
Well, you know what I should have asked you? What you aren't involved in.
That
probably would have been. Oh, all right.
Let me tell you something else that I do. Okay. People don't realize. I'm an avid gardener. A vegetable gardener, not a flower. I don't do flowers. I leave that to my wife. But I do vegetables. I've done it all my life. It's part of our heritage, so I've done it all my life. And my boys help me. I also have a passion for my father's antique. My late father left us his antique car, and I take care of that for my 2 boys and help pass it on. It's a legacy of my father to the kids.
Wonderful.
And you'll see that it's the yellow Cadillac you see in the parade.
Right. Exactly.
And so I have that.
Well, that's good. I want to get into some more questions because I know you do so much. You just do so much. Tell me, what is, give me your opinion. I know we've talked a lot about, it's been talked about in different towns and cities, about counselors who are at large going to ward counselors. What is your opinion on maybe Haverhill doing something like that?
First of all, I will abide by the will of the voters. First of all, I think it's their decision. But let me tell you why I'm not sure a ward council is the best thing.
Okay.
And I'll give you an example with your neighborhood association.
Right.
Let's say, for example, I was a Riverside area ward councilor. In the Highlands, had an issue. Take the crosswalks, for example, street issues, whatever. Well, if I were a Riverside or a Bradford councilor, I wouldn't have to care about your issue because you can't vote for me.
Right.
But because I'm at large, you see me, I come to all the neighborhood association meetings, not just Shaw's, but Rocks Village, the Bradford issues and so on, the Acre in Mount Washington. So I'm not so sure that the ward council is the best thing for the community, for those individual neighborhoods. I think you'll actually lose representation. The other thing, I actually think, and I called it this last night, it really is, I think, an incumbent survival, because it's actually easier for an incumbent to run in a ward because the district is smaller.
Well, it's
so
smaller,
so
right.
you'll have less time, you'll spend less time, less money, and less energy. I think the most important factor, though, is what's the best service that we can give the residents of that ward, of that district.
Of course,
that's the
of
question,
course.
and that's why I wait to hear what the voters and and the people in the community and the neighborhoods think, and I'll abide by whatever
And
decision
you'd
they
abide,
have.
Of course, absolutely. And well, like I was saying before, there's probably pros and cons
Yes.
to each one.
But
you know.
it's really how can we give service to the neighborhoods the best?
Absolutely, and that should be no matter if
Number
you're-
one.
Absolutely,
Number one issue.
absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about parking downtown.
Yes.
Okay, we know there's a lot going on downtown. Rehabbing, a lot of more businesses are coming in, the condos and apartments, and it's a constant,
Yes.
complaint that people come down, they can't find parking. What can we do to help alleviate that problem?
Do you know that I'm the former Planning and Economic Development Director
Yes,
for
I do
Haverhill?
know
Okay.
that. Yes,
So
I
we
do know
created
that.
the Washington Street Historic District.
Yes.
And one of the things that we did was we made it so that we could encourage people to live in the upper levels, which is now happening. So you're seeing upper level residential growth,
Right.
but we mandated lower level, street level, commercial, which you're seeing.
Okay.
There is a need for more parking, there's no doubt about it. And so I had suggested years ago, and continue to suggest today, that there should be another parking deck in the Washington Wingate parking lot.
Okay.
So behind Battlegrounds, behind that area, that parking lot,
Yeah.
that's the old trade school area, we should build a parking deck there. If we don't build a parking deck there, we should build it behind the tap, which has the slope terrace.
Yeah, it's a slope,
So that's, and we talked about that over the years. And also, the other option is available, I'm told that you can add a number of stories, maybe 2 stories, on the new MVRTA parking garage.
Oh, really?
So I'm told that,
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's true or not, but there is definitely a need for parking. And the reason why is we've not yet seen 2 or 3 of the new housing projects come online. They're supposedly going to be parking in the MVRTA parking garage. But my concern is for the people who want to come down and shop, who live there. And I think that is definitely a project that we have to look at and
Yes.
put on the fast track.
Well, Haverhill's grown so. It really,
Yes,
really
which
is, it's wonderful.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
a wonderful thing. But
And the Washington Street Historic District has become what we first thought it could become. Really is the gem of the downtown.
it is. It's something that I know as a resident of Haverhill, I'm very proud of.
Isn't
You
it
go
great?
down- It's wonderful. It really is. So.
And the diversity of the types of businesses and restaurants is great.
Absolutely. So let's stay downtown and just talk
Okay.
about what a thriving, bustling time it is. But, to maintain that takes a lot of elements to kind of go in that. But how would you balance that, Joe, with keeping that downtown thriving, but balancing it with what other neighborhoods need too?
Well, Merrimack Street is not caught up yet. And unfortunately, Harbor Place has not been successful to the degree that people first hoped. I wasn't on the council when that first came to be, so I'm not really quite sure what all the promises were, but unfortunately has too many vacant storefronts that we really need to see filled. The Heritage Heights, the Haverhill Heights project, which is going gangbusters in a very, very positive fashion, as I understand, will be occupied when it's built. So that's a great project.
That's
we need to
wonderful,
do
yeah.
more on Merrimack Street. What we need to do in the neighborhoods is something that we started when I was planning director in the city, and that was we need to pay a great deal of attention to our neighborhoods. When I was planning director, we created 2 neighborhood target areas, the Acre and Mount Washington. And we created a code enforcement program for housing so that we could provide safe housing for the residents there. We need to make sure that the housing is clean, safe, meets all the codes, and affordable. And we need to take all the junk stuff out. We need to get rid of the dilapidated, underinvested housing. We need to reduce the overly occupied units. People are being the buildings, too many units in the buildings. We need to take care of that.
Dense, very
yes,
densely
we need to provide
populated,
open
right.
spaces. We just did a beautiful park dedication for Bishop Hobbs in Mount Washington, which was
did.
great. Those little neighborhood vest pocket parks, we call them.
Absolutely,
Need to
yes.
continue to go
We
on.
have those in the Highlands,
Absolutely, yes.
absolutely.
And the same thing is true in the Highlands, in the Acre. We need to do that. We need to do that in all our neighborhoods. For example, one of the issues that I worked on in the Bradford neighborhood area was that there was a fire-damaged abandoned building on the corner of Salem Street right across from the Bradford Common. And it stood vacant for almost a year. People said to me, can't you do anything about it? And I said, I just got on the council, but we created a program. We created a policy, and now that building has been taken down and a new building is put in place so that we'll no longer see abandoned, fire-damaged buildings sit vacant in neighborhoods for over a year. That's the kind of action that we need.
That is very, very true, because I mean, you do see that, and you have problems with absentee landlords,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, it's a huge thing, and you know, Haverhill's neighborhoods are so diverse.
That's the strength of the city.
It's the strength of the city.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the other thing, too, that's important about our neighborhoods is that's where many first-timers to the city come to the neighborhoods because that's the most affordable housing for them. That's where the diversity is, and we need to do that.
right.
And I grew up in Mount Washington. I remember what it was like when I was a kid.
You know what it's
It was
like, right?
fantastic.
It's a great neighborhood. And what
Absolutely.
they're doing up there now,
Absolutely.
wonderful
Everyone,
changes.
and you know, the neighborhoods are working together,
That's what
which is
counts.
great. People are working together to make the whole city better. And I think that's fantastic.
And it's not just the politicians. It has to be everybody.
It has to be you.
It has to be
the citizens of the
it has to be
city.
The citizens,
And I think it's
absolutely.
fantastic.
Thank you so much. Well, listen, we're going to start to wrap this up, but I want to ask you.
just started.
I know, but listen to me. I want to ask you one question, one answer. What do you do to relax? You're everywhere.
I
Tell
don't.
me. Your car
I'm
keys?
out every night, every weekend. If someone calls me, you know, you saw a post on my Facebook page where I got a call from the Riverside Memorial Church pastor. He said, I have a problem down here.
Yes.
No one's returning my calls. I said, what time can I come down and see you? And I went down that day, and we worked on it right away. So
Right.
that's an example. I go out every day.
out
I'm
whenever
out 2
you
or
go.
3 events every day, every night. That's how I relax, believe it or not. But let me tell you what my key. My key is my family. I have the best wife, my wife, Tony
She's
Ann.
wonderful.
We've been married, listen to this, 38 years. And, you know,
God, that's
she's more popular
wonderful.
than I am because, you know, she works at the Classic Couple, more people know her than me, and then my 2 boys. So I spend as
Family.
much time, absolutely, I spend
Family.
as much time with my 2 boys as I possibly can. You know, I take them places. You know, my kids still come over to my house and have Sunday dinner with us.
Well,
with
you know
my
what?
wife.
You're not, that's why, though, it shows that you're good with your family, because you know why? Because you're good with the residents, Joe. So I'm going to ask you, where can people get in touch with you?
The best thing to do, they can call me at my house at 978-373-4807. They can call on the internet, Bevilacqua at cityhaverhill.com. But the best thing is to call me and let me know what it is I can do for you, and I'll come visit you.
Okay.
And I'll find out what we can do
Great.
to work together. But people know, they know me, that whenever they need me, I'm the guy they call because I want to get things done.
You
And the
get it
reason
done.
why is I want to make Haverhill a better place for everyone.
Great.
Everyone.
I know you do. And you know what? By your actions, you show it. It's not just words. So listen, I know we have to go, but we'll
They said we can go a few more minutes, right? Didn't you
No, we have. I know. You'd like to say that, right? So listen, thank you so much, Counselor, for coming. It's always
It's
a joy
my
to
pleasure.
see you. Thank you for your support and everything.
Thank you for doing this, and thank you to the viewers. I
Absolutely.
think this is so important.
It is. It absolutely is.
So we're
And
really-
thank you to HC Media.
Are we really done?
We are done.